Between these two teams have been decided by 2 goals or less. And we are underway here in College Park. It's going to be Notre Dame who wins the opening faceoff, Will Lynch. And he will give it off to Pat Cavanaugh. Cavanaugh will find his brother Chris. 2 players who are playing for, and they're going to need to play well today against a really good Irish team. As Spanos is going to pass that behind the goal. Comes to the front. That shot is in. Owen Murphy gets us started. 1-0 Maryland.
Yeah, and you see there the Terps get the ball.
Attack this year. As you can see there, Maltz giving it up to him. Murphy's not going to miss if you give him space.
Right, and Tyler, you see when the ball goes to X, the whole defense, including the goalie, has to turn their head. So when you can feed the crease from there.
And this is Riley Gray taking it across. He's going to pass that off. A shot at a goal. Brian Tevlin ties the game.
Yeah, and so you'll see Notre Dame carried in. Once again, you'll see here Maryland has to support down. We can see up the field, and we just get a great shot from Notre Dame right in front of the cage and a step down. That's tough for freshman goalie Brian Ruppel to really get adjusted and make a good effort on the ball there.
Notre Dame's first shot, Notre Dame's first goal, and it's a 1-1 ball game here. Notre Dame. This is Bryce Walker spinning. He's working on red. He'll give that off. This is Cavanaugh coming around, denied by Ruppel. No, it went in. Off the top post, it looks like.
Seems to be some confusion here.
Maryland keeps
playing. Was that
playing.
a crossbar?
Refs are going to talk this over. They're going to say goal. Chris Cavanaugh is going to put the Irish in front.
Yeah, and you'll see what the Cavanaughs do. Oh, that was a bouncer that went. Yeah, you'll see what the Cavanaughs do so well is I don't expect Pat or Chris to take Brett or Ajax to the back end line and dodge them. They're so crafty off the ball, playing that X heading out game with Ajax and making him play off the ball. So that's a big win for the Irish right there. I think getting some momentum for them, off a face-off, which is an area they probably thought they weren't going to do so great in, is pretty big after a goal.
This is Walker. He's going to take that behind the goal.
We see Notre Dame getting back to their big little invert set there, and Maryland defends it well.
This is Dobson. He's going to give that off. McCann rips one and scores! Quinn McCann makes it 3-1. And the Irish, they can do no wrong right now offensively. That's 3 in a row for the visitors.
And I think we'll see even out of the big little set, this gets Maryland very tight defensively. So they have to approach these big athletic and skilled Notre Dame midfielders inside the box. They're approaching at around 15 yards or less, and that lets Notre Dame just slip off for a shot. And so I would expect to see Notre Dame continue to go back to their big little. It should be a non-releasable penalty. So I think Maryland's ability to capitalize and potentially get 1 or 2 here would be huge to change the momentum.
So Kelly's going to give that up. This is Murphy. A pass across. Murphy's going to let it fly off of the stick, still loose. Picked up by Chorus. Now Long is going to throw that across. Here's Murphy. He'll let it rip again, and this time he scores. 3-2. Maryland is right back within 1.
And that was pretty good man-down defense by Notre Dame there, getting a deflection on the first shot while they're short a man. And as Maryland gets this ball movement, it's really key. If you can kind of skip the ball and beat the rotation and man-down defense, that really allows you to get your hands free for some shots. And then just Murphy canning an outside shot here and finally getting one past Entenmann, I think is big for Maryland's confidence. We actually saw Maryland's, momentum shift last weekend against Princeton with some penalties as well. So the ability to capitalize here can really change the game.
Here's Maltz. Pass back to Murphy. Looking for a hat trick. He's got it. 4-3 Terps.
And similar look here, but kind of the inverse from the opposite side. Coming up X, driving that righty wing and seeing that over-the-top skip pass. It's really hard to defend that as a defense, especially man down where you have to support the crease and the ball side shooters. Right there over the top. Notre Dame's going to do their best to play that passing lane, but if Maryland can drop it over their sticks, that's a great step down look.
And again, Murphy, he's got a cannon. That's his 10th goal of the year. Cannot give him any space.
And they're trying to get Schrader back on Dobson there, and that's going to be a big matchup today. Dobson's a very effective midfielder, dodging from up top, and Dante Trader's proven to be a very good defensive midfielder for Maryland.
Here's Bryce Walker cutting in and tying the game at 4. Where did that come from? He just took it right in, walked up to the goal and stuck it in.
Yeah, and here you'll see a nice dodge here just down the alley, and it's not great angle, but he's able to bounce it past the goalkeeper there at the hash, and Maryland's just not able to support. I think the action, the short dodge there from Notre Dame, makes it hard for Maryland to get a slide to that.
This is Jack Simmons. He's going to give it off to Riley Gray. Gray's going to find Pat Cavanaugh. Haven't said his name much today, but he finds a cutting Tevlin, and the Irish take the lead. You can see why Pat Cavanaugh leads the country in assists there. What a pass.
And that was just a pretty wide open cut there. It's really, Rupo doesn't have much of a chance on that one. And you'll see as Notre Dame gets the ball to X, I think Maryland trying to support to the ball just leaves a wide open cutter. And it's a little surprising to see Maryland support so early to Brett Makar there, but I guess it just shows, the value and respect Maryland put on Pat Cavanaugh. I think going forward, we'll see Maryland slide to Brett Makar a little slower and support the inside more.
You got to be aware. It's going to have to come down. Long working his way in. And that pass is going to be intercepted. The other way, it's Bergmaster.
That was an impressive defensive stand by Notre Dame right there with multiple sliding recoveries, great approaches to the ball, not really giving much up, and then an awesome nugget there at the end to steal the ball back.
It's in the stick of Chris Cavanaugh. Notre Dame trying to increase their lead. 5 goals on 8 shots for this very efficient offense. Dobson going to bring that in. His shot low and denied. Cavanaugh tried to scoop it right back. Open net, a fight for the ball. Zappatello went down. Maryland is going to get it possession.
And that's important. I'll tell you, with this Notre Dame attack unit, those loose balls around the crease are so critical. Watch Notre Dame's attack swarm this ball aggressively, and I'm sure Coach Johnson, they're just not going to go in. So the challenge for Maryland is how can they generate higher quality shots towards the middle of the field in this second half.
Lynch wins the face-off, and he takes a shot there earlier in this game. He did not play at Princeton. Big addition to this Maryland team to get him back. And this is Brennan cutting and scoring. Maryland ties it at 5.
And there we go, right off the bat, Maryland comes out and wins the first minute of the game with a good stop and transition after losing the faceoff and getting a really high-quality shot there from Brennan. And this is an offense that definitely missed Brennan the past few games, and we can see that here, where as the dodge comes up, Urksa stays composed, finds Brennan on that front swing, and that's what Maryland does really well, is they attack off-ball cuts strategically. So watch Brennan here as Urksa rolls back or steps away. Brennan times his cut up to be sweeping to his right hand, putting the Notre Dame defense in a tough spot.
Murphy.
I mean, you could argue that's the most important position on the field, especially on defense. Teams are attacking short sticks all game, and you'll see both teams here.
Shot clock down to 10. Spanos coming around. Tough angle. Did that go in? It did. Tough spot there for Entenmann. He thought he had it, but it winds up in the back of the net. This time it's going to count for Maryland.
Yeah, and here we have Spanos getting the ball at X with his short stick on him. So if you watch a lot of these possessions, you'll see teams work the ball around until a short stick is on the ball, a lot of times behind the cage, and the team will try to attack that short stick because it's hard to beat pulls here. And here Spanos does a nice job getting to his right hand and just getting his right hand extended around and shooting around the short stick there.
That's really tough for Entenmann. He has been fantastic all. Chorus, that one too high for Urksa, but Jack Chorus is going to get it back.
Once again, a shorty at X in the invert with Brennan.
This is Brennan. Turning. Great defense on him. And this ball is loose. It's going to be scooped up there by Chris Conlon. His 8th ground ball of the year. And Chris Fake is just going to launch this downfield. The Irish are going to get this clear. Here's Cavanaugh behind the back. It couldn't go.
And that's a big no goal right there because if Notre Dame gets that, those are the energy plays Those are the energy plays that the Kavanaughs are so capable of, and you can see Pat cutting right there in transition. If he scores that, that brings a lot of momentum and a lot of positive energy to the Notre Dame team.
Last game at CQ, Joey Spallina went behind the back. As that shot finds the net, Jack Simmons puts Notre Dame back on top.
And that's a good quality shot from Simmons right there. He gets to the middle of the field. And once again, working a short stick matchups, able to knife down to the cage and get a quality shot and bounce it away to the low corner. And that's a tough shot for Rupel right there when a guy gets to the middle of the field. Simmons splits to his left, is able to get downfield right there and snap it over the top to that low corner. Right, and that's a tough shot for Rupel when a Dodger can release over the top and get a bounce.
This is Simmons. Scored on Notre Dame's last possession. Can he make it 2 for 2? He's going to pass it off to Tevlin. Here's Cavanaugh.
And you can see Makar working out at X there, trying not to let the easy transfer pass to Cavanaugh at X.
This is Chris Cavanaugh giving it back to Simmons. Simmons coming around, tough angle, he scores! 8-6, Simmons with 2 goals on 2 possessions.
Yes, Simmons again playing hard, dodging hard for that left hand. Another bounce, but that's a pretty quality shot. And you see Notre Dame going to pick play here. They've been doing it all game, but as you continue to do this and guys get chipped, every time the pick set and there's contact, we want to switch, and it looks like Maryland Makar's just a little late on that switch, and Simmons is able to get topside to his left hand and snap it around the goalie with that bounce right there. As a defense, you're taught to take away that top side right there. And
Maryland, boy, do they need something here. Notre Dame scored the last 3 goals in this game. This is Kelly. Can he get space to shoot? He's going to find Maltz. This is Spanos. Spanos cutting in and scoring. 8-7. Number 7 gets Maryland right back in it.
Yeah, and just as Simmons scored 2 goals for Notre Dame, there's Spanos scoring his second right there on a split to his left hand down the alley. The last time he had a sweep, he had a right hand topside goal. Here Spanos splits to his left hand down the alley. Notre Dame tries to slide, they don't get there in time, and that's a great release over the top. Once again, snapped away to the low corner. It's a tough save if you can snap it over the top to the far low corner. And here Spanos just gets downhill and is able to use his size and strength to snap that low and away.
So 1 goal.
Back to Maryland's base to clear it out. Clean and simply.
So this is Murphy. Can Maryland tie the game? Down by just 1. It's been a streaky game so far. Seems like when teams score 1, they're going to get another before the response comes. Coming around is Whittier to tie it. 8-8.
And once again, this front swing Maryland does so well when they swing from X to the ball side. It makes the guy covering them really challenged to work around the goal to find his cutter. And Maryland, we've done it earlier on the right side with Brennan. Now on the left side here, right, this front swing where the guy cuts from X to the ball is able to catch this guy sleeping for a step and get that top side release. And so just a really quality off-ball cut, and Maryland was doing that all last year too. As they can get these off-ball movements, especially from that X, that front side swing, they're going to get some more quality looks. Shifted momentum multiple times. I would say it feels like Maryland's working really hard for quality shots, and that's a testament to the Notre Dame defense here, that nothing seems to be coming easy for Maryland offensively.
This is Long. Brennan on the near side, he's been great today. That's Long to Kelly, who scores 9-8. Maryland has the lead, 3 in a row for the home team.
Yeah, it's good to see Kelly getting in the mix here. You kind of see 2 Notre Dame defenders get tangled up on the slide and recovery, and it buys Maryland some time as they get quick ball movement to the backside. And right here you see the slide and recovery, 2 Notre Dame defenders kind of stumble over each other, and that trickle through just makes the recovery late to Kelly on the crease. You know, Notre Dame has slid and recovered so well today, and you can see what happens when there's a little longer and not give it to the other team.
This is Brennan. Maltz finding Urksa, the freshman. That's a rip from Kelly. Great save, Entman. And a nice job there by Boyer to pick up that loose ball. And Notre Dame is going to have a chance to tie it here. This is Chris Fake, the Yale transfer, who's going to just take that across midfield before dumping it off to Riley Gray. This could be a fun matchup to watch. Simmons cuts to his left and passes it off. Here's Chris Cavanaugh.
It's a good jump by Trader there off the pick, but now Notre Dame's got a matchup I think they like with Cavanaugh and a shorty.
They love it. Cavanaugh ties the game 9-9. Dante Trader switched on to him, and Chris Cavanaugh made him pay.
Yeah, and you know, with the Cavanaughs, they're not doing a ton of isolation against their men, but off the pick play, they're so slick to get a shorty. They're able to get their hands free with these little shifty moves. And for Chris Cavanaugh to be able to sweep to his right hand across the top of the field there, that's a shot that a guy of his caliber is going to can more often than not.
So for Cavanaugh, his second off, this is Dobson. It finds Cavanaugh.
Good team defense by Maryland there.
That was Makar that came out.
They got Pat Cavanaugh on a short stick at X, though. Maryland's going to be ready to go here.
Cavanaugh coming around, a pass across, could not find Chris, but that shot finds the goal. Quinn McCann gives Notre Dame the lead. And that pass, it did not hit Chris Cavanaugh, but it worked out at the end, I would say, for Notre Dame.
Yeah, and these goals are tough for defense because I think Maryland generally played this right. They get a slide. They have an invert matchup they don't like. They get a good slide from Ajax here, and they check the first pass through, and it just trickles through the backside. And so Notre Dame kind of right time, right place, able to can it. But Maryland, you know, checked the ball through, did their job, and it just went to Notre Dame's favor there. Sometimes those clubbing on some fresh legs here. As a team defense gets more tired, you'll see more opportunities on poor approaches, slides, and recoveries.
It's Long and Brennan who come in. This is Long, a long shot that goes wide, but Spanos is going to keep it for Maryland.
Expect a big little off the end line here from Maryland, bringing a shorty back to the ball to set a pick. We got Daniel Kelly there.
Kelly goes down. Spanos scores! 10-10.
And Spanos coming up big for Maryland today. Daniel Kelly sets a nice pick off the end line. And once again, Ty, I do think this is a product of Notre Dame being tired in that clock reset. These are long possessions that teams don't usually have to play as much anymore. You see Daniel set that pick. Off a pick, you're typically taught to switch on contact, and you see Notre Dame short stick D-midi not ready to switch. My guess, that's a byproduct, long possession, just a little tired off the ball, hoping his teammate gets through. And Spanos stepping up big, getting that right hand from X and canning that shot.
He's going to pass that out to Brennan. 30 on the shot clock.
Brennan might like this short sit matchup here.
Steady passes to Kelly. This is Maltz. He's got a short stick matchup. Maltz turning, tough shot, scores! Maryland has the lead.
What a shot by Daniel Maltz right there. And he's a guy that, you know, started every game last year with a really talented team, didn't get quite as much playing time, and has been such an impact player this year. Once again, late in the shot clock, right? Later in a possession, playing against a tired defense, Maltz is able to get a shorty on him, kind of in this short dot space, 15 yards away from the cage in the hash, and Notre Dame's not ready to slide to these. He's able to go both directions. Notre Dame can't get a slide, and just scores a great contested shot right there, puts it in the back of the net. That's a big-time play from one of Maryland's big-time players this year. And that,
this is Brennan.
And, you know, I think strategically that's pretty mature by Maryland to kind of pull that ball out, right? This is a clock game right now. Maryland's up by a goal, 4 minutes left. Of course, they want to go to the cage, but every second chance they get, if they can burn some time, just leaves Notre Dame with less clock to use.
Here is Maltz. He'll rip one and score! Daniel Maltz makes it 12-10.
Danny Maltz, wow, we talked about him earlier stepping up to give the one goal go-ahead. And now here he is splitting to his left hand. Spanos had a couple big ones from Maryland, but now Danny Maltz is kind of stepping up to be the guy, you know, attacking a matchup, and that's not an easy shot.
Let's see that save first by Ruppel that set this up. That was an open goal. What a great play, as you said, by Burles, and Ruppel got around to pick up the loose change, and then Maltz with a rip.
Yeah, that, I mean, all across the board, right? Danny Maltz right here to his left hand down the side, being able to pull that across on a goalie like Entenmann, team have had different, momentum streaks.
So now Notre Dame has it. And this clock, it's not really on their side. Coming in is Gray. He'll shoot and score. And just like that, it's a one-goal game. That's Riley Gray, another Chaminade Flyer, one of 9 on this team, who finds the back of the net.
Yeah, and that's a way to respond right there. We get this little up pick in the alley where the Maryland defender goes under, giving Gray just enough space. A lot of time on those up picks, you don't want to get under because the guy's running right to the cage. He gets his hand free and puts it offside. That's a pretty big-time play given the momentum.
He's finding Dobson. Notre Dame, this is the first close game they've been in all year. How do they respond? Let's see. Chris Kavanaugh.
Let's see a little switch here. Ajax back on his matchup with Chris Kavanaugh.
30 on the shot clock. Kavanaugh across. What a goal it's in to tie the game. Chris Kavanaugh as a flag flies. Unbelievable.
And wow, what an individual effort by Chris Kavanaugh there to take Ajax Zapatello to the cage. And he really just does a nice job. It doesn't seem like he has much space here at all. And Ajax is playing pretty good defense. That's, good defense. Gets his stick on him for the trail, but Chris is able to stay strong enough. Keeps the stick in his right hand. A lot of guys will switch to their left hand there. And I think if he switches to his left, Ajax gets that trail check, but he keeps in his right and gets this diving backhand finish.
It's goal number 15 on the year for Chris Kavanaugh. There may not be any bigger, there may not be any better of the...
Lived up to the hype so far.
Here we go again. Riley Gray is going to start with it. Gray coming to the front, working on Burles. It finds Pat Kavanaugh. Makar is on him.
Good job by Breck getting over the pick there, staying in Pat's hands. Expect a left-handed shot.
Kavanaugh comes in, scores! Ball game! Pat Kavanaugh wins it for Notre Dame! 13-12, and the Irish celebrate a massive, massive victory.
And that's a nice take by Pat Kavanaugh there, and it's, it's what you expect from your senior players, and it's probably the guy, if you ask who on Notre Dame is going to score the game-winning goal, you're probably circling Pat Kavanaugh there. Now, Pat's a predominantly right-handed player, and he just swept to his left hand and finished that ball on Makar. It's a pretty good play by Pat Kavanaugh.
He's working on one of the best defenders in the country right there, Brett Makar. Somehow finds a way by him and puts that one in the back of the net.
Kudos to Pat Kavanaugh finishing that shot with his left hand. I think Makar, rightfully so, is probably expecting a rollback here from Pat Kavanaugh. Probably on the scouting report, he likes to go to his left rollback for that right-handed shot. And Kavanaugh shows that he's able to finish that with his left hand from that spot, and that's a tough save for Ruppel. And so, eventually with all these shots on cage in overtime, Notre Dame's able to get a quality one-off that's able to find the back of the net.
Well, Pat's brother, Matt, he's one of the most clutch players of all time. They called him Matty Ice. He's got to be Patty Ice now after that one. 13-12, Notre Dame comes to College Park and beats the defending champions. An unbelievable game of lacrosse. Took 3